wreck isle where the wild winds call. Doctors turn adventurers, they stand tall. Keilan the warlock with shadows in hand. Nyx the sorcerer casting fire across the land. Monsters and medics, hear the tale unfold. Battling dragons and zombies bold. Healing and harm, they blur the line. In the face of danger, they always shine. Einar the rogue, a shadow in the night. Grimultur the paladin, shining holy light. Together they venture where few dare to tread, facing fears, walking paths of the dead. Monsters and medics, hear the tale unfold. Battling dragons and zombies bold. Healing and harm, they blur the line. In the face of danger, they always shine.
Hello, and welcome back to Monsters and Medics, a real play D&D adventure featuring a range of doctors in training, and medical students. My name is CJ. I am your humble DM for this evening. Our adventurers have bested the earliest parts of the Dragon's Rest campaign. They have asked for a harder challenge, a more veteran experience, if you will, given that they have a range of experience amongst them. So tonight we will not have white shirt DM, we have black shirt DM, and things are going to up a notch. I am so excited to have the full crew back together. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
So recapping where we left off, our adventurers had resolved the issues at Seagro Cave, identifying that a blockage of some sort had caused fumes to build up in the Myconids cave. They defeated a fire snake. They defeated a number of fume drakes, and they were able to get rid of the fumes. They're still not sure where the fire snake came from. They don't know what else is going on the island. And as they reapproached Dragon's Rest, Nyx's eye caught the Aurora Borealis shining from the north. Odd. Shouldn't be able to see that this time of year. And Runara greeted them on the steps of Dragon's Rest, asking that it was perhaps time that they have a chat. Adventurers, the adventure is yours.
So we in Dragon's Rest? We've gotten back to Dragon's Rest?
Yep, so your boat has just glided into the dock like a finely oiled machine, and Runara is standing there sort of looking contemplative with her hands behind her back.
Wow.
And
Will we
what,
go
what
and have
is
a chat?
the weather like at the moment? Like what time of the day?
I'm going to say it's towards 8 o'clock, so dark. And you can see overhead there's some sort of comet in the sky, blue and red, just very faint. You can see it in the sky.
And that's what Renara's looking at?
You can see Runara's got an eye on you, but her attention is split between you and the comet overhead. She seems distracted. Well, have you dealt with Seagro Caves? Have you uncovered what's going on there?
I would say to an extent, yeah. I think the market are happy to reopen trade. They're no longer guarding their entrance, and things seem to have normalized there.
And I can see that you've taken a trio into danger and battle with yourselves.
I think Atreo more than proved their worth.
Atreya looks a bit bashful.
A trail of blades.
Yes, I am more of a pacifist these days. I suppose I can't control what my children get up to, but nonetheless.
What are you gazing at in the sky?
And you can see she's got a little astrolabe beside her, so she's brought it down from the temple, and she's looking at this You think it's a comet in the sky, and she says to you, "It's about 100 years since the last time the catalytic comet passed by. I think we can see it now. I think that's what's happening. I'm just taking some measurements to make sure."
What can you tell us about this? 100 years is quite some time, but we'd love to know what you could tell us about it.
100 years ago was a bit of a time for the island, as I've heard. Well, there used to be a dragon called Astalagan that still resided here, and he unfortunately fell in combat with an adult blue dragon. It happened at the same time as the comet. Not sure if it was coincidence or if it triggered their fight or how it happened, but nonetheless seems like an ill omen.
And what happened to that blue dragon?
He rests at the bottom of the sea. Rests at the bottom of the sea. Astalagan got in a good shot, finished him off, but was unfortunately wounded himself. And
It's a magic story. Do you have any concerns about the appearance of that again?
Where?
Masters.
I've found over a long life that it's best to take precautions, and some things are superstitions, but this comet usually brings, if not destruction, then change.
Do we know, is there any chance we would know things about this comet from history, given that, a comet's not only visible from one location? Not
give me a
that
history
far
check.
away? Did that read? It was a 14, but it didn't come up in the log.
15? Oh no, 14. It does.
Yeah, I've got it in the log.
How about 15?
15.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I know, I just rolled at the same time.
Sorry.
With the 14 and 15, you remember this is a comet you've heard of in folk tales. 100 years is a long time for sort of a fantasy level society, but you've heard of this catalytic comet. It has been associated with major events in history, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but certainly events that are significant changes to the standing order. Rise of empires, fall of empires, new discoveries in technology, and also famines or unrest amongst the populace. And it's hard to say from a history check whether these things are triggered because people see the comet and psychologically act on it, or if it actually brings it itself. But certainly every time it appears, something significant has happened in history.
Can you tell us much about the presence of Harpers or the Arcane Brotherhood on this island?
She pauses.
Can we roll a
and says,
perception on her reaction?
I would call that an insight check. And
Sure.
anyone who wants to can give me an insight check on it.
Definitely.
I got a nat 1.
Oh, nat 20!
A nat 20. Oh, you gotta respect it, don't you? Okay. With the nat 1, Keilan, you think she's flirting with you? You're pretty convinced.
Maybe she is.
With a nat 20, she has definitely encountered both the Harpers and the Arcane Brotherhood. And she can see that she's particularly twitchy when we mention the Arcane Brotherhood. But when she speaks, she just says, well, the Harpers, they're around all the time. I'm sure one or two of them have come by our shores. Haven't heard much of the Arcane Brotherhood.
Well, that's interesting. We found traces of both parties present. I'm surprised they managed to slip by your ever-watchful gaze.
Well, you know how it is as you get older. Ears aren't quite what they used to be. Eyes aren't quite what they
Something
used to be.
distracting you?
Wink, wink. I see.
Is there anyone else around, or is it just Renara down here?
It is just Renara, you four, and you can see Atreus sort of just starting to slink away, trying to avoid communication with Renara, perhaps. Actually, roll me a perception check.
Me or?
Anyone who wants to.
Yeah.
At
Mm. Oh,
Oh, well,
5.
oh, 16.
no, that's good.
16. Let me roll something.
That stupid little thief bled here.
While you're doing
Grimator,
that,
you would be the only one who clocks this. You think it's Tarek standing up on the cliff watching you, and he seems to be. It's weird. He seems to be really focused on Einar. Pretty solely focused. And Tarek
How
was
far is it?
the gardener druid who sent you on this mission.
Mm.
Yeah. How far is it from the cliff?
It is about 30 feet up in the air, and you guys are maybe 200 feet away, sort of. I can't think of the word. Horizontally, like walking on a
Sure.
Look like
Anteriorly. Or
anteriorly, you know,
anteriorly.
on sort of a Euclidean geometry.
Yeah.
He's sort of
That's
standing up on a
better.
cliff, sort of looking.
Like
That's
certainly.
Is the base of the cliff a right angle?
yeah, essentially a right angle.
So then you can figure out how
It's
far
about
away
85
he is
degrees.
Used
And
it.
Renara-
look-
Renara sort of-
Does he look like? Does he show any emotions? Did Grimator see any emotions on his face?
no emotions. In fact, it's a very interesting study in a very blank poker face. You do, at that distance, you wouldn't clock anything else in the dark up a cliff.
But
Just staring up.
Grimator may not even see, even if he is showing up on his face, considering his stats are. So yes, even he look at that man and look at Einar and see whether Einar notice of that, and our Grimator would a little nudge with the elbow to Einar. Einar,
Mm. Is he still there?
very subtly, not as an obvious elbow knock.
Yeah.
You see he sort of walks away once Grimator notices. He seems to disappear.
Mm.
And Renara just says, well, you're certainly welcome to take your rest, and I will retire to my quarters. I've taken what measurements I can. I suspect the catalytic comet will pass by in the next few days, if my measurements are correct. Thank you for dealing with Seagro Caves. I certainly know we need these supplies. And if you do have a time, Varnoth really does want someone to check out that shipwreck to the north. But we're appreciative of what you've done.
Sure.
I like the sound of that.
We were hoping, Renaro, to maybe speak to Tarek. The Myconids gifted us a mushroom and suggested that he might be able to brew something, a healing tonic or such. Do you know where he might be?
You could try his quarters. He's got quarters.
Are they, because we ran into him up near those gardens when we were here before. Is that where he lives?
He sometimes sleeps over there, but he usually will sleep in A1, that area near the, the kobolds have their rooms there, right as you come up the path. So the monastic cells, essentially, kobolds sleep in one, Lila sleeps in another. I sleep in temple mostly. Tarek and Barnoth sleep in little monastic cells there.
Sure. And is one of those monastic cells set aside for us, just so we're not disturbing anyone?
Yes, you can sleep in your own. There's one there for you. You're welcome to bunk with the kobolds if you want to roughhouse it, as it were. I remember what it's like being young. Or you can sleep on the temple floor, I guess. But the winch house isn't taken either.
All right. Should we go maybe have a chat to Tarek, see if he's bunkered down? We can have a chat to Varnoth if he's around as well.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So you guys proceed up the path towards the monastic cells. You pass the statue of a bronze dragon there. You approach Tarek's cell. There's a small door in the way. What do you do?
Do we knock?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
looks like.
You knock.
You don't want to knock? Can I knock?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'll knock on
I
the
might-
door.
I'll stand at the back and watch.
Tarek's going to sort of stagger out a bit bleary-eyed. He's like, "Oh,
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was so late. We've just gotten back from Seagrove Cave, and the Myconix suggested that you might be interested in some of the mushrooms that they gifted us. I know you've been a bit low on supplies for a while, but things have opened up and they're happy to see you again. We were hoping you might be able to make us and I pull out the moral mushroom, was it?
Yeah, and you can
sort of
see
healing potion.
he's mildly excited about the mushrooms, but his eyes sort of light up when he sees the ruby moral, and he's like, "Oh yes, this will make a fine elixir of health. That'll get rid of a number of conditions, debuffs, things like paralyzed or poisoned. This is a great thing to have. I can whip this up for you. It'll take a day or two, but I can probably make the potions of health early in the morning for you if you need those with me." So he's
Yeah.
happy to take the potions of. He'll take the mushrooms mechanically. He'll take the mushrooms. He can give those to you in the morning. The elixir of health will take about a day to brew.
Sure, no worries. I mean, can't hurry a good thing.
But pardon my intrusion, though. We can't expect to let this gentleman do all these service for free. We have to reward his efforts, don't we not?
That's fair.
It's okay. You guys got rid of the mushrooms in the cave problem, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a good time.
That's all right then. Can I go a bit of
Is
sleep
he the
now?
one that we saw on the cliff note? I'm a little bit confused with the NPCs.
Yeah, this is Tarek you saw on the cliff.
Yeah.
Okay. And
we
he
just wake you
was,
up?
looking that sleepy looking at that time.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so? I mean, it was up a cliff
Yeah.
at dark at night, but
Mhm.
not everyone who stands on a cliff is
All right.
menacing or sinister.
You look like you're quite having a
Rest of the
nap
house.
since it's evening. Aren't you, Tarek? You look surprised to see us.
I like sleeping.
Would you perhaps be more amiable for conversation in the morning when we come back and get those healing potions, yeah?
You're the thinker of the group, aren't you?
I thought I was the pretty one, but
Uh,
you don't think so? I've also got no idea that they saw him, so
You're just flirting with everybody.
I find people are prettier in the daylight.
yeah. Well, I'd just be interested to have a chat about a few of the things that we saw in the cave, but if you're more up for it in the morning, then that's more than okay by me.
It's okay. What'd you see?
Well, there was a dead person, wearing some blue robes. There was some stuff about Harpers, and Elder Runara mentioned that there'd been Harpers on the island, but I've got no idea about who or what they are because I'd never heard of them. But then, are they regularly frequenting this area?
I think a Harper came through a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
they
remember their
did.
name?
It was Zither. He
Zither?
called himself Zither.
But that was
What
the only one
about-
you saw? Oh, sorry, Nix.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember another one, but I'm off doing gardening stuff. I might have missed them, I suppose, if they're only here for a day.
Yeah, sure.
And what about the Arcane Brotherhood? What do you know of them?
There's something about Silvery Moon, right?
Yes?
I don't know that much. I'm kind of a gardening guy, but I mean, the name sounds bad. Like, I can't figure out why, but I know they're bad.
I was just curious. It seems we came across a lot of sign of activity of comings and goings, and nobody seems to really recall seeing anybody coming and going.
Yeah.
Like a quiet little island with a few interesting things happening and people dying kind of like all over the place.
Hmm.
I think if you look at most islands, there's people quietly dying all over the place and little mysteries happening.
Are you quietly dying?
I'm dying of lack of sleep.
Maybe we should let you get back to resting.
Do you know? Sorry, before we leave, is Varnoth in there as well?
Yeah, Varnoth's on a bunk, and you hear, all right, these guys are right annoying.
Oh, we could chat to you in the morning as well. That's fine.
Is that the pretty one?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's been established.
I think it may just have been.
I think self-proclamation maybe has happened.
It's all about confidence.
Exactly.
It's all about self-perception. That's what really matters.
Can I
Where
go back
is
to sleep now?
our
You don't want to
what's
have a
his name?
philosophical
Lieutenant?
chat, Tarek?
What were you saying, Grimator?
I just lost the tongue. Our chicken lieutenant
Peckish.
Oh, Peckish.
Peckish. Yes. At that time, am I Grimator carry Lieutenant Peckish?
Yeah, Lieutenant Peckish is with you.
Okay.
Good to check.
So Grimator would be feeding a few little corn bits and pieces to Peckish at that time, while standing.
Actually, before we let you rest, sorry, what can you tell us about the catalytic comet?
I know it's bad. Like, my mum used to tell me stories about the comet causing bad things, but I'm not a fancy book learning person.
So the stories you may have been told about Estelagan, could you shed some light on those for us, if possible?
He was the dragon that used to guard the island. He died fighting a blue dragon. Really solid dragon, like, from what I've heard.
And what came of the blue dragon?
Estelagan beat him, like he stabbed him through the heart, and the dragon fell from the sky into the sea. So he rests at the bottom of the waves, at least as the story goes.
And when you say he rests at the bottom of the waves, roughly what direction from here would that be?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was 100 years ago. I wasn't here.
Okay. Thank you.
You able to point us in the direction of the spare room for sleeping? Just not with the kobolds.
Yeah, he points you down to the one furthest on the left on the map. So you guys could all bunk in there. It's a little, like, it's not roomy, but you guys could easily bunk in there.
Yeah. Sweet. Put that in there. Can see one bed.
Cozy.
Narratively, there are a couple of pallets and sort of futons spread out on the
Oh,
Sure.
what do we want to do from here?
As in right now, or in a general sense?
In a general sense.
Well,
I'm just going to turn my dryer
Like-
off. You guys talk.
like I was saying on the boat, I think probably the next logical step, and I feel like we're being kind of pulled in that direction, is towards the north side of the island and that shipwreck that Varnoth wanted us to investigate. And I'm glad you asked, Nix, about where the fight actually happened, because I was curious if that was part of the legends or stories at all. I have a sneaky suspicion that this blue dragon is possibly still an issue. And this
I
comet
just
may be ominous.
Yeah, I think back to that phrase, what the cycle continues, what sleeps beneath. And, there's a dragon that passed perhaps deep under the waves, and a lot of strange things happening out by the shipwreck, and can't help but wonder.
And like all the dead bodies that are coming to life, and the
Exactly.
dragon being dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, what do we want to do immediately?
Um,
Do we need a rest? I think we're all good, aren't we?
I don't know. Do we get our stuff?
Grimator
Well,
is
it is
already
night.
dozing at the corner.
So I don't think you guys have technically taken a long rest, because you went to take a long rest in the cave. Unless
And then Einar,
actually, you may have done. I can't remember if you rested after you beat the fire snake.
No, we haven't.
No.
Because we were
So you
we were
guys
paddling.
haven't.
I was paddling back.
So maybe we
But
take a long
did-
rest then and just reset
Did
everything.
we?
Yeah.
But if you had already taken level, I would imagine we already taken a long rest.
During the
I think I allowed the level up without the long rest. I was a
Okay.
bit cheap.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, I did
being
that.
leveled
That's
up in the
fine.
middle of combat, refreshed, healed, and got all of our skills, and then continued the fight. No. I think
It
one of the
sounds like
things.
the Diablo.
Yeah. If we're going to take the rest, I think one of the things that I was going to be trying to do was work on that cipher in the journal every long rest that we had.
Sounds good.
So every long rest, Keilan, you can take a d20 and roll it. The cipher will get increasingly hard. The DC is an investigation check. And the first roll, like how to work is if you crack a code, the cipher complexity resets. If you don't crack the code, the check gets easier because you're having more time to work on it. So the DC will start at 18, an investigation check of 18. If you don't get it, it'll be a DC 15. And then if you don't get it again, it'll be a DC 12. And it'll drop by 3 every time as you sort of compile your thoughts on it.
So nat 20.
Woo!
Okay. So all right. So that's what Keelan's doing. We'll deal with that in a sec. I think as
Christmas
you do
party.
that with a nat 20,
Right.
you notice something as you're examining the ciphers, and it's not so much the words, it's that you notice a symbol repeated every sort of few pages. There's this sketching symbol, and the symbol is of an inverted harper symbol, essentially. It's a harp that's been twisted around to spell a D, and then it says discord, and the D is the harper symbol, and the colors are inverted in a way that instead of the blue and silver, it's a black, like a dark blue that's so dark it's almost black, and it's an almost mirror image of the harper symbol, and it just says the word discord. And you find a segment in the journal that you're able to uncode. That segment of the journal states that the agent was concerned that there is an element of the Harpers that is a rogue element. They are concerned that there is an element of the Harpers called the Discord that is marching to their own beat, and that it may very well be against the direction the Harpers wish to go. And you can see he's really hidden this in a very complex cipher, because one, if he's wrong and someone finds this, he's gone. And if the Discord were to find this, he would very much be gone. And you can
this
see
is
it in the
Wired's journal,
sketches.
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
With
And
that,
is
you
this
also get one
information-
other thing,
Oh, sorry.
and that is you can see that Agent Liar was sent to investigate the Rustbringers during his travels. This was a bit before his travel to Stormwreck Isle. When he went to investigate the Rustbringers, he identified them as a rebel cult in the kingdom of Desolatia, Desolatia. And he believed that their leader was working against the monarchy for reasons unknown.
Is this information that only Keilan knows?
At this stage, yes, unless he wishes to share it.
Okay.
Does it make any sound while you're working with that cipher? Well, how Keilan can describe it?
Are you asking if he would have sort of reacted or tried to conceal a reaction?
Oh no, as in, is it making any particular sound, or is it more like reading a book type of sound?
How are you decoding this, Kitten?
The cipher,
How does your brain work?
pictorially, And so it's kind of that code kind of pictured came out to him as like the non-required words faded away, and that sort of repeating pattern of that symbol came up with that bringing out the discord. And I think probably the biggest giveaway that he'd come up on something was that Keilan started frantically writing when he started figuring it out. The biggest audible cue would have just been a bit of a low grunt, like no like excited yelp. He's a bit of he's used to books and reading and writing, and this sort of stuff is what excites him. And sort of the feverish nature of his note taking would have been the biggest giveaway that he'd found something after just literally staring at a page in the book for a while, aimlessly doodling in the corner. It switched from aimless doodling and vacant staring to more like a sharp focused and feverish writing, kind of hoping that cipher he didn't forget it whilst trying to transcribe it, because he's kind of gripping to it loosely.
Keilan, you are scaring Lieutenant Peckish. Why are you not asleep yet?
I'm not.
You can hear
very good.
Grimator grumpily talking to you with half open eyes.
I'm not very good at sleeping. I think I may have found something, but I just want to sit on it and maybe we can have a chat in the morning when I'm not so tired. But I think I may be figuring out this book from Agent Lyra, and I think it'd be unsurprising to learn that there might be more going on than we all thought. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to go to bed now. And I sleep with it in my hand, my notebook and the cipher sort of in my hand, like this. My sweet books.
Do you guys all take a long rest?
Yeah.
As you take a long rest,
Oh, hang on. I just want to say something before final resting, and Grimator will turn towards Ina's direction. You careful with that man. He may be something that he hasn't told you, or wants something from you. I hope you did not take anything from him, don't you, Ina?
I wouldn't tell you if I did, Grimator, but he wants something, and I don't know what it is. I think we just have to wait till he makes his play and see what it is. And speaking of that, I might just quickly check outside the front door, see if anyone's stirring in the town.
you can give me a perception check.
Cool.
16.
You don't see Tarek. You see Runara sort of trailing up to the temple. You can see that statue of the bronze dragon sort of standing out by the cliff face. There's not much else going on. All the kobolds seem to have settled in. Lila's settled in. With a 16, that's pretty much all you see. Not much going on.
All right. Do we need to set a watch or do we just rest?
Let's just rest.
As you rest, you all drift off to sleep. Those words from the cave continue to rumble in your minds. Destruction, change, restore. Nix, you dream. As you dream, you find yourself on a tower in Silvery Moon, with just staring at the hint of the Aurora Borealis in the horizon. You're a much younger you, and this is the night that you first gained your powers. We see you with your mother. What do we see?
So you see me cradling her in my arms. There is blood pouring down. It's hard to determine from where, but there are tears just running down my eyes, and they're spilling out onto her. My father is standing off to the left. He's looking incredibly spent, frustrated, exhausted. You can see that he has expended all of his magical powers in an attempt to turn around this yet unclear turn of event, you can hear him cursing under his breath a name. And he says, Valindra, several times over. How could she? And Nyx is just in a spiral. She is clutching and just so unsure of what to do. And it's almost as though she goes into herself and just completely regresses and is just screaming out to whomever it is, the powers that be that are listening, how this just cannot be. And it's almost like in her despair, she just grasps at the weave, and just with everything she's got within her, it's like this internal storm just building and building and building. She grabs and almost makes a promise to herself, like, I will do everything I can to reverse this, just make it happen. It's like a command, fierce. And swirling in the sort of heavens above, the lights begin to dance, soft greens at first, then purples and blues, and they're swirling, and it's almost like the sky just breaks. And suddenly there's a huge flash, bright, brilliant greens and purples, but so bright they're blinding. And then everything goes deathly calm. And you can hear this, and it's a breath that's been taken. And it's Nyx's mother. And Nyx's father just turns to look and can't believe what he's seeing. You know, he knew Nyx's mother was at death's door. And meanwhile, Nyx is fully collapsed into her mother. And I think that's where the dream could potentially just sit for the time being.
And you hear just the word restore echoes through your dream.
Yep.
Does Grimotor dream of anything when he hears destruction, change, restore?
That's what it meant. Okay. Can I roll a d20?
You can.
All right, yes. Grimotor will have a dream tonight. When he started falling asleep, he was very quiet, and you almost thought that he wasn't breathing. And then his breathing got more and more shallow, and then he got back to more normal breathing. That's what would be the way he would be sleeping. But in his dreams, he thought of, or he's thinking about this organization that he heard for the first time, that called Harpers. And he was curious, and he's trying to imagine filling in the blanks for what they might be, because he never heard of them before. But at the same time, he sees his mentor, the person who helped with his injury when he was wounded. He's seeing his face every night. And this time, his mentor's face is a lot more, how do I say that? Intense, as in concern about what Grimotor might be doing. And he just stares at him, looking at him, two persons sitting on the ground, looking across the fire, looking at each other, staring without talking any single word. And I think that's where he woke up. In the morning, could be early morning, or it might be the sun already rises quite well.
As your dream ends, you just hear change. I know. During the night, you feel something nudging your arm, and it's Lieutenant Peckish. And he's nudging your arm, and he's got sort of a little dagger clenched in his beak. And you can see he's really downcast. He's sort of like, sort of nudges your arm again, points at the dagger, points at your dagger, jerks his head outside the cabin.
All right. Well, I'll go with Lieutenant Peckish. He's a man I trust.
Yeah. Lieutenant Peckish leads you outside near the bronze dragon statue. And you can see Lieutenant Peckish is wearing his normal vest. It's a fine vest that the captain had attached to him. So actually quite a nice vest. It's got multiple pockets. It's probably a nice leather. And he sort of pulls a dagger out of one of the pockets and looks at you and sort of looks downcast. And you get the sense that he wants to be able to help more, but he needs some sort of training or experience in order to be more than just the pet chicken. And he
So
sort of
what's up?
like gestures with his dagger at your dagger. And he's sort of like in an on guard fashion, like, "Arr."
With some training in knife work.
No.
I'm sure I can
would
show him a
you
few things.
engage?
Yes, I would.
No.
Okay.
An important part of my
roll
profession
me-
to teach the next.
Roll me a d20. What check would this be? This would, I guess, you could roll animal handling or sleight of hand, just as you sort of try to teach him knife work.
I'll go sleight of hand, if that's all right.
Yep.
28.
20.
So that's a nat 20, sorry, with the bonus.
Nat
Plus
20.
8.
So you get the sense with a nat 20, Lieutenant Peckish is not that great with the blade. Like, he's a chicken with a dagger in his beak, right? Like, he's trying his best, but he's trying. And he does actually pick up a few tips from you. It's hard to teach stances for a chicken. Like, their stance is very different to a humanoid creature. But you're able to teach him some basics, knife work. You got to get in close. You're going to take a few hits. Try to be quick. Try to hit something vital. And you sense that he gets a bit of experience, and he's on his path to maybe some sort of rogue or swashbuckler type if you were to continue training him over a couple of days. He eventually gets a bit tired. He starts to tuck his dagger away in one of the pockets of his vest. Just roll me a perception check as he does that.
Ah, I'm terrible with perception check. Only a 3. The least perceptive rogue ever.
With a 3, you find an arm loops around your shoulders, and Tarek sort of sidles up to you. He says, "It's good knife work. It's good knife work."
I wondered if we might have a chat again, Tarek.
You've just got one of those faces, kid. Just got one of those faces. Where are you from?
Well, I'd rather not say, really, Tarek.
A man of mystery. Much like my son.
How about you tell me a bit about yourself? Or your son, did you say?
Yeah. Good farming boy over from Desolatia.
Where is he now?
He's 6 feet under.
Oh.
King's orders.
Sorry to hear that,
Couldn't
Tarek.
couldn't grow anything on the farm after the king drafted us all off to the war. Never mind the plagues or the famines.
How
I
did
just
you
feel like I've
escape?
seen you. Are you from Desolatia? Where are you from?
Well, I grew up on the street.
Okay.
I
I've definitely
haven't
seen
been
your face before.
Desolatia. I've never left the city before.
Something's picking at my brain. Something's picking at my brain. You see, I find the thing with loose threads is it's best you cut them before they become a problem. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
That won't
why
take
do you
quick-
always get attacked at night when you're by yourself?
Oh, where are we? Dexterity. 5. That one.
5. You take 4 points of damage and you're poisoned as a dagger plunges into your side.
Right.
And he twists the dagger. And he starts to grapple you and drag you towards the cliff's edge.
Oh,
That is his
How did you-
turn. We're going to move into initiative.
okay.
So I need you all to roll. At this stage, I need Einar to roll initiative.
Yeah.
And so I can see a little assassin that's just popped up. Oh, that's right.
The assassin. Okay, so we're going to say Einar was near the bronze dragon statue. He's currently grappled.
What about Lieutenant Peckish?
Yeah, that's a good point. He should go onto the map.
And Atreyu?
Atreyu is... You don't actually know where Atreyu is.
Okay.
I'll let you roll a d20 at the start of every turn after this to see if Atreyu turns up.
Okay.
Nyx was 20. Yep. Keilan's 11. So that's all plugged in nicely. Okay. Auto initiative, those guys. Okay, start combat. Okay, so the assassin has gone first. He has jabbed his dagger into Einar's side and grappled him, and he will attempt to drag him towards the cliff on his next turn. The next up is Nyx. Nyx, what I want you to do is roll me a perception check to see if you heard anything.
Okay.
Do you want to hide the initiative order? Because we can see.
Where is?
Perception. Oh, I see it, all right. Oh, I hear something.
Depends on if
How good this
the DM
assassin is.
makes you do an opposing roll.
There we go.
Blacking out the map's always encouraging. What are you adding to it?
Nothing.
He's hiding. He's removing stuff.
Okay, so that should all be a bit better. So Nyx, you rolled a 21.
Mm-hmm.
With the 21, I'm going to say you heard something outside, and you have an action, a movement, and a bonus action you can use.
Action and a bonus action. Oh, does that mean I can cast Firebolt twice, or is it more a case of I can move, I can cast Firebolt, and I can do like a healing spell?
Oh, sorry, just like standard.
Okay.
Standard turn. So you could get out there, you could cast a firebolt, and you could. That'd probably be all you can do as a level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can only cast one spell at a turn, unless
So
it
what
is
can
a carryover from the previous turn.
Okay. So what can I use the bonus action for, if at all?
At this level, not a lot. You could.
Ignore that. Sorry.
Healing. Trigger happy. That's right. I might.
Type of damage.
I'm gonna learn from my turn last round and not get too close. Given I'm squishy, but I'll just move out and I'll just do Firebolt.
Can you roll firebolt for me?
Yep. 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
Cool. And then damage. 4.
4 damage. Yep. Does 4 damage. And you see this. You see Tarek looks over his shoulder and is like, "Oh." And he's taken a little hit. He's not too bad.
I think that's all I can do.
It's good to have friends.
Lieutenant Peckish. Lieutenant Peckish is. He's going to take a swipe. He misses. He darts in and tries to take a swipe at Tarek's legs, and nothing happens. Tarek sort of just dances out of the way. And that is Grimator. Nyx, did you nudge Grimator or anything on the way out?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
I
Grimator, you
nudged
can make up and get out.
Keilan, Grimator. I raised the
Yeah.
alarm.
Okay. To fit in the theme, Grimator was sleeping last night without wearing armor because that would be silly. So he was still almost like in his undergarments, shirt and trousers. And when things are happening outside, he only get time to take out or carry his sword, even without his shield. And he run towards the source of the noise. And he would run towards Assassin and have a swing.
So what was that? Wearing Y fronts and carrying a sword.
Oh, yeah.
You can imagine as you like.
Yeah, that-
Never
you know,
until moments. Never until moments.
That'd be terrifying.
18 to hit.
Nine.
Yeah, that hits.
This won't disappoint. Yeah. 7 slashing damage.
7 slashing damage. So your sword comes in and sort of carves at Tarek. And you see Tarek's got a dagger in each hand, and he sort of tries to deflect it, but his blade's too short, and he takes a wound to his arm. So 7 slashing damage.
So if Tarek's got a blade in each hand, he's not grappling. He's not grappling Ida at the moment, is he, or anything like that?
You ever seen someone at a party playing Edward Bottle Hands trying to hug someone?
Okay.
Yep.
No, I was just wondering whether Grimator could like throw Tarek off the cliff.
Yeah. So to do that, he would need to grapple him, and then
hang on,
he
sorry.
could drag him there.
No, not finished yet. It's the typical player. I'm not reading what I can do first before doing it. So, swing the sword, and you can see Grimator in his shorts. After that, he hold out his one hand, and you can see the Nyx would probably see better than I know. So like radiant light coming from his hand, and he is reciting prayers. And from this hand, he almost like smash on the assassin with the other hand. So that's one of the divine smite, which I can use as a bonus action after the round. So after the action, only if I hit.
But you did hit.
Or 2d.
You did it.
Yes, well, that's 2d8 radiant damage to add.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So 2d8. Hopefully 8 damage plus.
Okay.
Like Chris sweat beads building.
Okay. Yep.
With the yes, he's still praying with his shorts, but still, that's his end of turn.
After Grimator, we come to Keilan.
So we're at the end, aren't we? So Keilan's hugging his book, and he hears all the commotion. He hears Grimator run out, and he's like, unlike Grimator, did not sleep in his jocks. I'm just fully paranoid and holding on to my book. And I'm like, what's going on? I just hear a bit of yelling, commotion. He slides the book back into his bag as quickly as he can. And I come out here. Are they 5 feet?
I'm pretty sure.
2, 3. So is that 15 feet of movement? So Keilan's just going to come out, and with his new level, he's decided to swap some of his readied spells because he wasn't that impressed with himself previously, and he's now going to show these guys what his mum didn't want him to do, and he's going to cast Eldritch Blast at this citizen.
Yes.
Eldritch Blast.
Here we go.
7. Can I expend a luck token to re-roll that?
Yeah, you've got luck.
Yeah, so I'll expend my luck and I'll re-roll. There we go.
That's nice.
Wow.
That's the first.
What'd you get?
The first net 20 in the combat. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so that
hits.
hits. You can do a lot of damage. So nat 20 with a spell attack. We haven't really done this in this game yet.
Only a
What I-
17. It's a 17 plus 5.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it hits. Roll damage.
Yeah. The worst I could possibly do.
Yeah, you see it sort of shoots off him. Does some damage. Still looking strong.
I think with Grimator engaging him, I'm probably going to actually hang back. Because I do... So then I'll just end my turn there.
You're leaving the guy with the shorts at the front.
You're
the
the tank,
big
man.
So
You wouldn't have it any other way.
I know you are poisoned, so you have disadvantage on certain things. You are grappled. That is all that is going on at the moment. And you can take your turn.
Can I pull a dagger and slash?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'll do that. I know. Feeling poorly, he's injured. A whole lot of fear and anger is bubbling up. So he pulls his dagger and gets a 25 to hit.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll
Nice.
hit. You guys are on fire tonight.
yeah.
A damage of 5.
Would you roll with disadvantage though?
No, I didn't.
Uh,
Wait, what do you?
Actually, let me just double check because in 2024, hang on. I can't remember what it gives you disadvantage on. Hang on.
Yep,
A disadvantage on attack rolls,
attack
ability
roll.
checks.
Yeah.
Sorry, disadvantage on
Or
attack.
Aina. Yeah, re-roll.
So the second roll is a 16.
16. 16 just hits.
He's actually part of Discord and he's trying to get us.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's working against us. Telling the teacher we have a homework assignment due.
It's all right. Still landed. Still landed.
That is
And I'm grappled,
on-
aren't I? So yeah, I can't get away or.
You can attempt to break the
Engage.
grapple if you want to use your action, but you would have to have not made your attack.
No, that's all right. I'd rather stab him. That's where I'm at.
I think that's always a good approach. Okay, so what will happen now is we'll move on to his turn again, unless you want to do anything else. Okay, so he is going to drag you. You're grappled. He's going to drag you towards the cliff edge. He only gets half his movement to do so.
It's still.
Let's move you guys across. That is going to stay within Grimator's range. He is going to leave Lieutenant Peckish's range, so I'll make an attack for him in a sec. What he's going to do now is make 2 slashing attacks.
I use a luck point to give him disadvantage.
Absolutely can.
I'll do that.
How many
please.
luck points do you have? Do you have the lucky feat?
I've got 2 luck points.
Good to know. So he's going to make 2 slashing attacks. Do you want to give him disadvantage on both, or just the first one and then see what happens?
First one and see what happens.
Yeah, sure. That's disadvantage. At disadvantage, he gets a 20 disadvantage. So he hits with the first one. He does 1d6 plus 4 piercing damage. So he does 10 damage with the first blow. And then he also does poison damage. He does another 4 points of poison damage.
Well, I'm down.
So he has used his attacks. He cannot throw you off the cliff now because he's used his action and his movement. And he can't take a bonus action. That is his turn. He's going to lean down to you as you lose consciousness and whisper, "The Rustbringers send their regards." And Lieutenant Peckish is going to take an attack as he leaves his zone. Just misses, but it was a better miss than last time. So you have Einar down on the ground. He is on the edge of a cliff. The assassin is ready to push him over. It is now going to be Nix's turn with Lieutenant Peckish on deck.
Do we get to roll to see if Atreya comes?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You can roll me a d20 at the start for this being the start of the round. See if a trio turns up.
Mhm. How's Tarek looking just in general? Is he a bit shabby or?
Tarek looks okay. He's not seeming stressed. He's taken some
Nope.
damage, maybe some damage, decent damage. But not bloodied.
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay. Oh, well, hang on. We'll see if a trio makes an appearance. And did
Okay.
Grimmett have an attack reaction due to Tarek's move?
He's
Oh,
still
yeah.
in range.
Tarek, still in range.
Still range.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, so no trio?
I don't think so.
What did you roll?
It was a 6.
No reinforcements arrive.
All right, then. Well, I'll do 5 out again. Oh, 10.
Doesn't hit.
Fair. I think that's me done.
Yeah. Lieutenant Peckish is going to step up. He's going to look around nervously and dart back into one of the cabins and sort of make a large commotion noise.
Yeah, it's like,
But he's going to dart into one of the cabins with a number of lodges and make a lot of noise. That'll be his turn. You guys can roll with advantage on the reinforcement check at the top of the next round.
Sure, I think you need to just wrestle him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grimator, you're up. So
You just grab Einar and wrestle
Get
this
into the
assassin.
ground.
So the Grimator approach between, at the same time next to Einar and Tarek. And with one hand, where he was radiating light before, he probably regretted because he was so eager to fight the enemy, he forgot Einar is wounded before when he ran out. He put his hand down to Einar's almost not moving body. And next you can see that again, there's similar shimmering light coming from his hand. As a bonus action, I'm using Lay on Hands to heal for 10 hit points.
10 hit points.
Lovely.
Whoa.
Einar comes
Thank you so much.
So
back up.
that's- At that time, you can also see that his hand, like the veins are starting to, almost like, he's transferring his own life force to Einar. But at the same time, he used his other hand to swing his sword at the assassin, hoping to try to get away from it. That's a normal attack.
Mhm.
Which is +4. He probably miss, I would imagine.
that misses.
11.
So this guy's got an armor class of 16.
And Grimator's armor 2 as well, because of without the shield. Or actually -4 without the full set of armor.
Okay.
And that's his turn.
Right.
So, Einar, how does it look like? How did you wait?
Oh, much better than I was a minute ago.
He's still grappled on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
But no longer poison, or you have some life.
Oh, yeah, does that get rid of the poisoning? Bad.
Keilan, you're up. No pressure.
Come on, Keilan, bring your A game.
And Tarek's going to say, never liked the pretty one anyway.
Yeah, you say that now.
I'm just here to
No.
annoy you, mate. I mean, I'm not going to be able to finish him. And I don't think I'm very
You never know.
confident. Sorry?
You never know.
And he's completely unbloodied. The risk is he's just going to throw Einar off the edge of this cliff. Einar might survive.
But if Einar, in his next round, disengages the grapple, that might put a halt to things.
If
Maybe.
he succeeded,
Mm.
in doing that.
All right, I'm going to cast Witch Bolt at this guy. It's a nat 20. I'm not
Nice.
This time.
That lands.
which changes it to 4d12.
Wow. 28.
28 Teddy.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa, that's brutal. Good.
Did you say 28?
Yep. It's 4d12.
Very nice.
Crit.
40-12.
Okay. Okay. You have this guy's attention. He's actually started to look bloodied. As you sort of summon the Witch Bolt, does anything look different, or is it still Keilan's sort of classic magic?
It's probably, there's a lot of arcing electrical energy firing off, and he's doing kind of like a double-handed cast, kind of like a Sith Lord, but it's all green and sparking, and there's 4 big, huge arcs that kind of circle around and then get Tarek on his torso primarily.
And Tarek looks pretty like he's bloodied now. That would be your turn. Which means it's Einar's go, which is very interesting. Einar, what are you going to do? 20 years of
Wow.
D&D experience up your belt. Pull something out, I'm sure.
Yeah, it doesn't help at all. I think I'm going to try and break the grapple.
Yep. You can use your dexterity or your strength.
Dexterity is what I'll use, not
Like,
strength.
who might say that? Sorry, acrobatics or athletics. My apologies.
Acrobatic. Hang on. What if I go acrobatics? Ace.
Let me
What
roll, because he
about,
might actually not be late.
Could you use a luck point?
Or a heroic inspiration.
You have a luck point.
Yeah, I do have a luck point. I'll use that.
Okay,
16.
I will roll this in front of the screen. And I'm going to roll an acrobatics check. It's a 9. You break the grapple.
Try to break the grapple, backward somersault up onto my feet, 2 daggers in hand. But that's the end of the turn, isn't it?
You could move. So use your action to break the grapple. You can stay there if you want, or you can use your movement to get away. It's up to you.
And that wouldn't provoke an attack, would it? Because he's broken the grapple?
He would still get an attack of opportunity.
A reaction.
Oh,
It
yeah.
would.
But still, I wonder if it's worth it.
Yeah.
Does
Although
Einar
retain-
want to?
Yeah.
Does Einar
true.
want to run away,
Yeah,
or is he?
I
Is
think Einar wants to confront this guy.
Okay.
I mean, I want to stay close to Grimator, don't get me wrong. And sidle away slightly, perhaps.
The mostly naked orc.
Yes.
Okay.
The absolutely terrifying, mostly naked half-orc. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. The assassin is going to look at his options. He's going to see the 4 of you. He's going to realize the grapple's been broken. He's going to attempt to grapple you one more time. So this is going to be a contested grapple check. Can you roll for me athletics or acrobatics? One more time.
13.
Gets a 15. That's with his strength too. He's got a +0 to strength. So you are grapple. So that is his action to grapple you. He can't make an attack. He's going to look at his options. He can't throw you off, and he can't move off without trying to pull you. So he's not going to do anything else. But you can see in his eyes he's going to try and throw you off the cliff at the start of the next turn. And it is Nyx's turn.
All right.
We roll for those reinforcements.
Oh,
Absolutely
yeah.
roll with advantage.
Not as.
Do you want to roll one, Mix, and I'll roll one?
Does that roll I did though count for my action? It was a good roll.
Oh, it's for the
This
reinforcements.
is just an extra
Do you
thing.
want me to just do it so it doesn't waste a good roll for you? Yeah,
Yes,
I can do
please.
it. That's the first one. What's that?
I want
The
this
one
hit.
and a 2. We know our numbers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you hear Lieutenant Peckage making a ruckus. You don't see anyone else turning up.
These useless kobolds.
Come on, a trio. All that we did for you.
It's very creepy.
Yes, true. Well, I guess my firebolt lands, which is something.
That's something.
Great damage. Here we go. Oh, 8. That's not too bad for me.
8. Yep. No, it's chipping away. So you get 8 damage.
Uh-huh.
And he sort of looks over you and sort of curses and sort of says, "So,
That's all I can
Um,
do.
Lieutenant Peckish, he's going to make another ruckus. You'll get advantage on the next reinforcement check at the start of the next round. Grimator.
Quite tempted to push him over.
Do it! Oh, wait, no, he's grappling.
He's
I know.
grappled Reiner. You have to get Reiner out of his hands first.
Yeah, well, that seems like a disadvantage. So, simply, he would swing his longsword against the assassin. This time, you can see that he's changed his pose since he is free from healing Aina. So, it's almost like he is stepping position rather than cutting. He's trying to pierce through his heart of the enemy, but he's probably hit between the body and the arm, just below the armpit, and miss with 10.
Can you do anything else?
And no, that's all he can do at the moment, and there is no bonus action that might make useful. So,
Keilan.
Grimator's turn.
You see Grimator hacking, trying desperately to get his friend before he is flung from this cliff. What do? You hear in your head, "Hey, buddy, I could give you a little extra juice if you want. Won't cost you anything more than a simple favor. I'm a good patron, ain't I?"
What are you going to give me?
Let's just say your next Eldritch Blast will do a lot extra damage. Just one favor.
Yeah. You're going to ask me after the fact,
I've been good to you so far, haven't I?
I haven't got any complaints.
Well, you're doing great, buddy. I'll give you a little extra juice if you want.
Yeah, give me that juice, mate. Let's get this ready. So you can ready to cast that Eldritch Blast.
So you can cast an Eldritch Blast. It will automatically hit.
Yes.
Double the damage as if it's for a crit.
Oh,
Very tempting.
That's a 9.
do you have any luck points or inspiration?
I mean, I've got something else up my sleeve.
Okay.
Is that double damage on before my charisma modifier, or because that's what the plus
With the
3 is
charisma
like?
modifier. This is this guy giving you a really significant boost at a price. So you can take the double 9 to 18 if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
He's starting to look a bit rougher, guys. Like
I've got a bonus action still as well with my Witch Bolt. I can cast it again on subsequent turns as a bonus action as a 1d12. And you can just roll for damage even if the first one hit, but I crit. So it's just a 1d12 for extra damage. Hoping for a bit more out of that one.
2 points is better than no points.
Okay. Yep. So, Einar, you're up. You see he's looking rougher, like he's definitely below a quarter hit points. He's really trying to get you to that cliff to throw you off. Yeah, what do you do?
Let's attack.
Yes.
I've got the 2 daggers. I take it when I'm grappled, I can't get sneak attack damage.
Oh, look, not unless you can roll a coolest somehow, but
Maybe I could. Maybe he hasn't seen the second dagger. Arya Stark style. Down. I've dropped it into the other hand. With the notes coming.
you can give me a
I think-
performance
use
check
your other
on
luck.
Arya Stark this.
Sorry, what was that, Chris?
I say use your other luck
you
to
wouldn't
counteract your
anyway. It's
disadvantage.
fine.
I've used the 2 luck now.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That was a 25 to hit.
Yep.
And sorry, Chris, how are we feeling about sneak attack?
Give me a performance check if you want to Arya Stark this and try to get some sneak attack. So if you give me a performance check to convince me he's like spun the daggers around his hand, come in
What are you thinking? Like sleight of hand?
Is it perform?
Yeah, sure. Okay, sleight of hand. You can have sleight of hand.
Might get away with that.
18.
Yeah, you can have sneak attack damage.
Woohoo!
I've done 6 basic damage. That's 5. The sneak attack.
Okay. So 11 total.
And then I've got the second dagger. But I don't get the modifier, do I? So I'm just going to roll d20 for that. That's only a 10 to hit.
10 to hit. Okay. I'll tell you this guy has 7 hit points left.
Oh,
Is there anything else you want to do? Or is there anything else you can do?
Can you use your heroic inspiration, or have you used that already?
I think I used that already. Oh, unless I got a new one.
You would have got it when we slept.
Yeah, what can I do with heroic inspiration?
You can get one reroll free.
You can re-roll that hit
Re-roll.
die.
That last one.
Yeah. Can you do more
Yeah,
than
right.
7 damage?
I
Already?
can. Right, let's re-roll it. I
Okay.
can. It
Roll
might
that.
be pushing it, but you never know your luck.
Mm.
11.
You have to take the new one, right? Oh, that's
11
better.
won't hit.
That will not hit.
11 won't hit, which means it's his turn. So to throw you off mechanically, he would need to make a special melee attack. He will be making a strength athletics check contested by your dexterity acrobatics check. If you win, he can't throw you. If he wins, he throws you off the cliff. So he's making a strength athletics check against your dexterity acrobatics. Unless you want to do athletics,
How far is the fall?
The fall is about 30 feet into the water,
Okay, into the water. Okay.
which is not so bad until you remember that there are a lot of zombies there.
Yeah.
Where's our boat?
A while away.
A while away. So
What?
I'm gonna roll.
Start.
I'm gonna roll that in front of the table.
Nice knowing you. I
Can't wait to fight zombie Einar.
So you only have to beat a 3. You only have to beat a 3 on that. He rolled a 3.
Come on,
So you
Okay.
just have to roll better than a 3, which I think you can get almost automatically. So just don't get a natural 1.
Yeah, okay.
Let's say that. Famous last
Really
words.
wish you hadn't said it out
wait.
loud. Yeah. So
30%
acrobatics
chance.
check.
Yeah, the odds are in your favor.
Whew. There we go. 15.
Oh, yeah.
So he can't throw you off. He grabs you and tries to maneuver you off, but he's just not strong enough. This is a dexterous, slippery boy, and he just can't get you over the edge. So that uses up his attack.
So we've got to wipe him this round.
You can see he looks nervous. He looks around, and he's going to attempt to jump off the cliff.
Do it. Stop him.
Can we
How?
talk to him? Can I
I'm
yell
going to check if
something?
he can do that, though. So, of course he can.
How could we stop him? Do we have we've got rope, I'm
Grab him.
sure, and
Just
Grimator,
react.
just grab him by the
grab
back
him?
of the...
No.
Yep, so he can release that as a free action. He can release the grapple, and he's going to dive off the cliff towards the
Can
water
Grimator
himself.
make a grab for him?
Grimator
Yeah,
can
like a
absolutely make a
reaction.
grab for him or use his reaction.
Yeah.
Grimator, you can use your reaction to make an attack. Einar, you will also be able to make an attack because you still have your reaction as he does so. So between the two of you, you
Alright.
need to do more than 7 points of damage to take him below 0 when he jumps off.
okay. All right, I'll give it a go. For 18 to hit
18 hits.
and 7 damage.
7 hits. Einar, do you want to take a swipe at him as he also goes unconscious?
Do it.
Yeah,
Someone
sure.
walking
but
up and
he's-
wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, I'm angry. So yes, the dagger.
So he's unconscious. Your hit automatically hits,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and that's 2 death saving throws gone. So he's on 1 death saving
any
throw.
damage?
You have both used your reactions. And as Tarek, this assassin, falls off the cliff, you see a couple things. You see those tattoos you saw earlier running up and down his neck with some sort of cult signs. You see that he's falling towards the water and blacking out, and a shape swoops by and grabs him. And you see 2 winged kobolds grab him from the air and fly him across the waves towards the side of the island where the observatory is.
And you can see Grimatus shouting, "Hey, you're not supposed to do that."
And Einar going,
And as
Tarek!
And as you do that, the kobolds all rush out, and you see Elder Runara rushing out, and Varnoth sort of staggers out, half asleep. And Lila, the other winged kobold, sort of comes out with her crossbow, sort of looking for what's going on. And we're out of combat.
Thanks, team.
And above the table, we've got like 5-10 minutes left. And they're all sort of rushing around, and Lila's like, "What was that?" And Runara's like, "What happened? What happened? What's going on?"
Oh,
I need to find my clothes.
Grimtor's just full naked.
Yeah,
Well, as you can see by our state of dress, and just kind of glance at Grimshaw, and your friend Tarek's maybe a little bit more than everyone thought he was. He's tried to murder one of our companions here. Einar's very, very unwell. It's all battered and bashed up. Or is
Tarek
technically
attacked him.
full. Yeah, Tarek did this.
The guard.
But I don't think he's a gardener.
Tarek is with the Rustbringers,
Mm.
Renara. What do you know of them?
That can't be right. Tarek was a dusk weaver. He was a minor thief in a thieves guild. That doesn't seem right. He's been nothing but friendly.
Maybe he's just been biding his time.
Maybe he's been waiting and he's been here for a reason.
Maybe he's been
That's-
facilitating a lot of movement of people, and that's perhaps why you haven't picked up with it.
Tarek.
Maybe we should check his room.
We should.
I mean, you could. He shares it with Varnoth. I mean, you could certainly check it, and you guys could certainly do that if you wish.
What's the relationship between the winged kobolds and the non-winged? I think Lila's the only winged kobold that's here.
Lila's the only winged kobold you've seen so far. Do you
Yeah,
remember that her wings were injured, and Grimator healed them?
yeah. And she'd sort of, I guess I don't really know about that. But we're not really sure what happened or why she was attacked. She said it was Sturge.
You remember something about Sturges? Something
Yeah,
about
she said it
Sturges.
was. She told us that it was Sturges, but is there a reason why there are no other winged kobolds? Because they certainly seem to have been assisting Tarek just now.
Renara sort of pauses. Lila, come here. And Lila sort of hustles over and is like, got a massively oversized crossbow. What? And Renara says, have Mech and Min, have they gone to the observatory? And Lila sort of looks nervous and says, think so. Saw them heading that way. Didn't want to rat them. And Renara sort of shakes her head. I mentioned there were some other kobolds on the island, and unfortunately some of the ones I look after, well, occasionally they run off and join them. Mech and Min were Lila's brothers. They're both winged kobolds, and it appears they've been hiding out in the observatory. It's an old wizard's tower to the east of the island.
And what happens there?
For expediency, by the way, whoever wants to search Tarek's room can do that with an investigation check.
Yep, I can do it.
I know. Do you want to roll as well?
Yeah,
just
I
for
think Einar.
narrative reasons.
Uh,
And Renara says,
Investigation.
Grimator is not that good. He would go back into the room and dress up properly.
A sense of decorum.
Grimmett is the gentleman adventurer of the group, really. All right. So Einar gets it. Einar, do you have a -1 to investigation?
Yeah, I do.
The rogue.
The worst rogue. The worst rogue of the worst paladin. The bad religion and bad investigation.
Okay. So with a 12 and a 14, you do find a couple of things. You find a communication stone under Tarek's bed. There's not a lot there because he shares the room with Barnoth, right? But you find under his mat, you find a communication stone. And with the 14, you also find a loose floorboard underneath his bed. You find 75 gold pieces,
Oh, nice.
as well as a couple of pieces of paper. They're mostly logs of people coming and going from the island and sort of copies of the manifestos. And you previously saw there was a manifesto kept of the ships, and Tarek has been copying that and sort of passing that along. So Keilan found that in the library, I believe. The manifesto notes the arrival of a harper a couple of years ago. And there's a note there in which you can see he's been sending these back to someone he's just written as RB.
Okay. Is this information only I know and I can share, or it's something that everybody knows?
You can do as you will. If you want to conceal it, you will need to make a stealth check or sleight of hand check to conceal that from Einar.
No, I'll just share it.
Okay. That's all you find, the gold, the notes, and yeah, there's not much else. It's a fairly simple sort of outfit he's got here.
Okay.
There's nothing
And-
about our ship in there, sorry. Nothing about our ship in the
You know, it's funny.
record.
There's nothing about your ship, and you guys were a bit off course due to the storm, but there's nothing about your ship logged. There is, on one of the notes, you see a mention to be alert for any of the 5 because the plan is proceeding. But that's all.
Okay.
And you see that's addended to go to Desolatia, the Kingdom of Desolation.
Just for my notes, did you say the plan is proceeding?
The plan is proceeding, and be alert for one of the 5. And you see one final thing, and that is that he's scribbled the name Lysander Blackwood.
Okay.
And you're not sure if he's been sending the messages to Lysander or if he's a contact or what, but he seems to have written that down as a safety net of some sort.
Okay. Interesting.
Mysterious.
Grimmindor will arrive to the door. Do you find anything else? And he is tying his armor, standing in front of the door at that time.
So, well, we would share everything that we found with you. So assume what we know, you know.
Who is
Do we get
Lysander
our
Blackwood?
mushrooms back?
Oh yeah, did that brew?
I want my ruby moral back. Is that
You can
in
see
his
probably
yeah.
what is brewing. You get the sense it's probably able to cook on its own, and the health potions are done. So he did actually do those. You'd see that. Roll a d4 for me.
He didn't do anything untoward with them?
Who knows? We may have to test the potions then.
Give them a lieutenant package.
If you want
Not
someone roll a
lieutenant
d4.
package.
Sorry.
What was that, Chris?
Someone roll a d4 for me.
Other than me, I did one.
Oh, you did? What'd you get?
It's a 2.
So you understood you would get 1 health potion for each of the Harcat mushrooms. 2 of the potions that you were supposed to get have been swiped by Tarek, and you think he's
Right.
used them for his personal supply. Otherwise, they're still there. They're good, and the Ruby Moral is brewing.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that as Dragon's Rest sits there in absolute disarray, with more questions than answers, we will leave it there for tonight, and we'll come back again to find out what's going on Stormwreck Isle.
You Tarek, you traitor.
Yeah, Tarek.